Welcome guys to another ProfileTree video. So today we're going to be looking at the best free website builder for real estates. So there are a couple of platforms available for you to use, whether you're a beginner, intermediate designer, or a professional web developer. This video is looking more into how you would get started. So we'll go ahead and just jump into it. So what platforms can I use for website building? So I've listed out 4 there. Of course, there are several other ones available to the public. Now, we'll go ahead and start talking about the 4 here. So we've got Wix, and it's an extremely easy platform to use. There's 3 options for website building. You've got Wix Editor, ADI, Editor X, and I've also stated the fact that this platform is ideal for beginners. Now, we'll not discuss Wix yet, but in terms of building a website, I'll show you that later on in the video. But I can back this up and just say that it is a very, very great platform, especially if you want to get creative with designing a website. This would probably be the one for you. It's not all about drag and drop, so it can be a bit tricky for some beginners, but if you have had some past experience with designing websites, this is pretty much just an easy outgoing platform to use. Now the next one here, we've got Squarespace, and again, this is another easy platform to use as well. It's a very simplistic website builder, easy to navigate around, and again, this platform is ideal for beginners. Now these are ones, Squarespace is also one I would recommend for people that have never built a site before. Purely just for the fact that you're able to create a website or use some of the templates that they have, and everything's pretty much just click and change. There's not a lot of dragging or any elements that you have to move about. It's pretty much just one click and then you're able to change that. So that's why I also recommend Squarespace. It's just that very easy feeling for a website builder. So next in line there, of course, we've got GoDaddy. Ties in almost the same as Squarespace, but not quite. It's a very fast website builder, straightforward, and it's got very simple editing tools. So I've stated that it's great for people that have never used or built a website before. I would more recommend this to smaller businesses, both Squarespace and GoDaddy, as using these 2 platforms, it's mainly just a time saver. If you want to get a website built, ready to go, I would recommend these 2 tools. Now, the last one there is something a little bit more complex, which uses WordPress. Not that GoDaddy doesn't use WordPress as well. Bluehost, so it's known for its top quality hosting service. It's a drag and drop editing tool with the WordPress integration. Not as easy to use as the other platforms, which I can agree, but overall it's still a great platform. So of course, I've said there, these aren't just the 4 website builders you can go through. There are other ones, especially if you're creating e-commerce websites. You've got Shopify. You can even use Elementor if you're creating brochure websites or e-commerce websites. And I think there's Gator. There are just a load of different platforms that you yourself can use and explore. So next we're going to be talking about the pros, of course, of each of the websites. Now, I've begun with Wix here. There's at least 800 templates to choose from. Now there could be more now. It's also very beginner friendly. It also has options for different platforms, so you can go ahead and create a website as a beginner, an intermediate designer, or a professional designer. What I mean by that is we've got Wix IDI, Wix Editor, and Editor X. Now, I'll be going through these 3 different platforms later on in the video, so stay tuned for that. Now, moving on, we've got Squarespace, and it's got a great number of templates, also has a 2-week free trial, and loads of features to use. Now, we'll also look into the Squarespace one as well, and I must say that it is also very beginner friendly, so I'll just add that for Squarespace. We've got GoDaddy here, which offers a 24/7 support, very easy to use and cheap subscription plans to launch your site. So it's not like the rest. Subscription plan for GoDaddy is a hell of a lot cheaper than Wix and Squarespace, as well as Bluehost. So that's something you can consider as a business owner or someone who's trying to create a website for real estate. If you have a strict budget, maybe GoDaddy is the one for you to have a fast website build and a cheap website build. Now, last we have Bluehost there, which is easy to use, has a live page editor, so it's easily monitored, and also has a free plan. Now, it's easy to use for some, won't be easy to use for some beginners. Now, it's not like the rest here, where we got Wix, Squarespace, and GoDaddy. There are a couple of integrations that you need to do for Bluehost. So, of course, with each platform that we've stated, there are other ones, as I've said. There's Elementor as well, which is also a WordPress integration. You use Visual Code as well to create some coding for it, or you could just use the platform itself. Now, Elementor, I must say, is a great platform. There's a lot of web designs that you can do there. It's got built-in CSS, HTML that you can add code to. But of course, if you want to create something more integrated, more fluid, then you would want to do a back-end code for it, which is the visual code part. So that's another one. You could be an intermediate designer or a professional designer. I wouldn't recommend it for beginners. So that's one of them. That's just one of the examples out of the 4. So now that we've talked about the pros, we'll go ahead and talk about the cons for each of the platform. So what are the cons for each platform? Okay, so Wix there at the start, you can't switch templates once you've picked. The wide range of options may be an advantage for most, but can be confusing for beginners. So as I've stated, you've got Wix ADI, Wix Editor, and Editor X. I'll show you what I mean by this when we're looking into Wix. It can be a bit overwhelming for beginners, but of course if you have used the platform before, then it's no bother. So moving on, we've got Squarespace, which has no autosave for pages and posts, so you can easily lose your work. Interface is a bit confusing and not the easiest to use at times, and no full customizability. So same as GoDaddy there, barely any customizability. Drop and go developer platform. Templates are also not the easiest to find, and we got Bluehost there, which doesn't let you switch templates like Wix, no email accounts, and no monthly billing for this platform. So to demonstrate everything pretty much, and just to show you what I'm talking about, we're going to go ahead and start with Wix, and I'm going to go through the sign up process all the way to checking out all the templates. And I'll also we'll go through one of the websites and we'll see and check out how hard it is to actually change things about. So yes, we'll go ahead and get started with Wix. Okay, so here we are at the startup of the Wix. Now, this isn't necessarily the sign up for it. We're going to go ahead and look into that now. So this is the sign up where you would have to put your email down, your password, of course, and then this is where you can sign up. Or if you have a Google account or a Facebook account, then you can go ahead and proceed with this. But since we already have an account, we're going to go ahead and just log in. So I'll go ahead and continue with an email and log in. Now, the next page that we're going to see here isn't necessarily for something that a first-time Wix user will see. So, of course, this is the same page that you'll see if you have already created websites in the past before. So if I go ahead and go to create new website, it'll ask me for the first page here, which platform do you want to use? So I can either use Wix or Editor X, and Editor X is the more complex one. Wix is the easier one and great for beginners and intermediate web developers. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Wix. Now it'll ask us what kind of website we're building. So for the purpose of this website, of course, we're creating a real estate website. So there's real estate agent, consultant, we've got real estate developer, we've got real estate agency, and a landing page. What we mainly want to try to probably go for is the agency instead. So I'm going to go ahead and click next. Now it'll ask us what sort of website we're creating. So I'm just going to say okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and click next. Now, the next page here is adding things to your website. This is mainly to do with the Wix market, so the Wix app market. And this is some of the things that they provide, which is a chat box. They've got bookings, forms, Instagram feed, and of course they have a list of different areas for e-commerce sites as well as the blog sites. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and choose to skip this for the meantime. So it'll ask us this again. So this is the confusing part, which is why is it asking this again? They've got the Wix ADI, Editor X, and Wix Editor. Now, as we've seen from the very start of the page, we've got Wix Editor or Wix and Editor X. So that's this one here with a blue button, and the one on the top right is the Editor X. I'll go ahead and show you Editor X, or I'll go ahead actually and show you from top to bottom. We'll go for the Wix ADI. So Wix ADI is basically meaning artificial design intelligence, meaning that it's going to ask you a couple of questions to build the website for you. So here we are reviewing and editing info. So this is where you could add a logo, of course your business name, then your business email, your location, as well as a phone number and some social media accounts. Now you can choose to add these in now or add them around a later date when building the website. So I'm going to go ahead and choose skip for the meantime. Now you'll get 6 different themes and it'll ask you what theme you prefer the most. Now these 6 aren't going to be the same ones that you'll get. You may get something different. So from the list that I have here, which is Clay, Soho, Fuse, High Rise, Indie, and Classic, I have seen other ones that say Chic, Minimal, Retro, I think something like that. Just along the lines of those themes you may pick. I'm going to go ahead and pick Soho just so I can demonstrate what the website will look like. So then the next page will ask or say that it's going to be preparing homepage designs. Now, I must say that it is basic, but for what you're getting within the space of time that we were at the review and edit all the way to the favorite homepage design, I must say it's pretty good for people that haven't touched or built websites before. So here we are on our first layout there. We've got ProfileTree Real Estates, and it's a blue, dark blue, navy blue website design. And it's simplistic. It's got a hero section along with services they provide, and they've got a contact form at the bottom for their footer. Our next one here, we've got ProfileTree Real Estates, but this time the logo is in the middle, along with the navigation menu below it. We've got a hero section along with services, and our contact form and our footer. Same applies to the right one here. Just different layout designs, of course, and their service is a little bit different on the layout. And they even have a get in touch. But the difference between these two from this is that it only has get in touch and no location map or contact form. But when you go ahead and click on it, it'll bring you up to the Wix editor, and then that's when you can start actually applying your design or changing things about that you may not like, or adding things that you want to include, or any images, videos, anything like that, you can add them in. So that's the Wix ADI shown. I'm going to go ahead and show you the editor X, and then we'll move on to showing you the Wix editor. Now, editor X doesn't really have a lot of templates to offer, but I must say the design that they provide are pretty incredible. They're modern, fluid, everything that you would need for a website design, it's all here. If I go ahead and show you an example, so of course we can't find the one for ourselves, which is a real estate template, but we can try to just have a look at some of the ones I have. So this is the Catapult Design and Motion Studio. So you can see already how fluid the design is as soon as I scroll down this website. So it's very interactive with the actual visitor. And of course we've got working buttons as to be expected. Click on all projects. Interactive design here, so probably uses a bit of Velo code. So uses almost a parallax, as well as that it uses some video. And on top of this, it's got some integration from tablet and mobile devices. And we've also got a hamburger menu that shows us all projects. So that's just a small taste of what Editor X has to provide. So they have a lot of very, very great designs. However, the difference between the two, so this is something you have to take into account. Depending on the budget within the real estate template that you want to create, Wix ADI and Wix Editor are a load cheaper than the Editor X in terms of subscriptions per month. So this is when you're paying a premium plan along with the domain name. This is what you'll be paying monthly or yearly. So it can become a little bit expensive, as this platform for Editor X is around £16 and more for you to run per month. So that totals nearly around more than £100 over the Wix editor. Now the picture is a bit blurry, but this is something that I got off the internet there. So as you can see, they've got a premium one, a standard, and a basic. Now it can go up to about 28, 14, or 7 per monthly. Now it's not exactly the same, but it's around those prices anyway, so it can be a little bit expensive. So that's just something to note and just something to look out for. Here we go actually, so this is more in depth with it. So we've got Essential, which is $22 per month, with 10 gigabyte of storage with 24/7 support. Now these are all, of course, in difference. So you've got one with priority for support, and of course they have different pricing points. Now if we check out the different ones, they've got Scale, Enterprise, and this is more leading into the e-commerce side of the actual site. Now Enterprise is more of a custom request. So depending on Enterprise, there would be different pricing points. So you would have to contact Wix yourself for that, but preferably people would want to choose the Extra, which is $35 per month, or there's Ultra there, which is $49 per month. Now the 35 one per annum, that totals up to around $420. Now you may have some discounts depending on, but that's just an insight on Editor X on how expensive it can get. So now that we've talked about the Editor X, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the next one here, which is our Wix Editor. Now, Wix Editor and Wix ADI actually use the same platform. However, of course, one uses the questions and then one where you can actually pick templates or design the website yourself. So here we have a couple of different templates under real estate agency. Now that's been typed on the top right there, and you can also find this around the business and services, where if you click real estate, you'll be able to find a few there with real estate firm, and one with real estate landing page, real estate consultant, and of course there's another landing page. So it's just depending whether if you're looking around for one, you'll be able to find the template for you. If you don't like any of them, you can go ahead and pick a blank template instead. So there's a couple of there to choose from. But just for the purpose of this video, I'm going to go ahead and click on one. So I would like to find a real estate agency. Click next, and then I'm going to go ahead and select Johnson and Brandon Real Estate Agency. So we're going to go ahead and view this, and we'll have a look at some of the parts of this website. So they've got an area there for sale for properties, and it looks like it's more of an area that doesn't actually use an e-commerce site, but instead uses it as a brochure. So there's different ways to go about it for a real estate agency. Of course, if you do decide to have a built website for real estate, you can have an area where they can have a finance calculator or an area where they can deposit their money, things like that, especially if you have things with solicitor fees, just things like that. Now, what's great about the real estate agency website here is that we can actually go ahead and change the theme straight away. So this is the site page theme changer. Now, if I go ahead and click to use this template, we're going to go ahead and look to see how easy it is to go ahead and modify some areas within this site. So we'll wait for this to load, and we'll go ahead and customize some areas. Now that we've loaded up into the editor, we can see that there's a side menu here. So it pretty much just introduces us into the website itself. So of course, as a beginner, this can be a little bit overwhelming, but anyone that's intermediate or professional, you would probably know your way around here. So just to give you a quick guide, we've got add elements, add section, pages and menu, site design, add apps, my business, media, and content manager. Now the ones that you're more likely to touch are the first 6 here. So we'll go ahead and click off this. Now on the top left here, we'll go ahead and explore this section. So currently at the minute we have home, for sale, for rent, about, and contact, and that's the navigation above. Now we even have an area for our mobile optimization. So if I go ahead and click this into mobile, this should be able to show us the mobile version of it, and it's already built for, so which is great. I think the only adjustment that we would have to do is the actual hamburger menu itself. So we'll go ahead and click back to the desktop, and we'll go ahead and view it. Now, since we are 50% out, we're going to go ahead and want to zoom in so we can unlock our tools. So, the tools is used just to outlay what you can use within the area. So we've got grid lines there, we've got snap to objects, and I'll show you that in a minute. You can also add a ruler on the top there, just to show you where you're adding your logo, your buttons, or anything like that. Elements just will be located on the top there. Now we've got our toolbar as well, and this toolbar helps us to actually adjust and size our different sections. So here we have our welcome section. Now with this, if we have it set to 459, I can go ahead and just adjust that to 500. So that'll make it a little bit bigger for me. And we also have a strip on the background, which makes it more of a responsive website. Here as well, so this is our area here, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get rid of my ruler so I can see a little bit better. Now, the snap to objects, as you can see, if I go ahead and align that to the left side here, I'm able to do so. Or if I'm wanting to align that into the middle, it'll snap me in, as you can see. And then I can bring it down as well and match it along the two areas here. Now, another one as well is the actual grid lines. These just help me to ensure that I'm not putting anything outside or any elements outside of the grid lines, because if I do so, I'm going to get an error message that pops out on the bottom left. So it'll say, you dragged an element outside the grid lines. Some of your visitors won't see it. This isn't all necessarily true. If we do preview the website, we'll see the Johnson and Brandon on the right side. But given that this platform that I'm using right now is a laptop device, if I use it maybe on a desktop or if I use it maybe on a mobile device, we could have some issues. So just say that I had it there and I go ahead and switch this to mobile. Usually there is an issue, but usually there isn't, just because they are different platforms. So okay, I was wrong on that. But maybe if this was a tablet device, then I would fall into some issues. So just be aware of that when you're moving elements around. Now it's also easy to add elements in. So if I just click on the add elements and I wanted to add a button, I can go ahead and do so and just click that. And I'm also able to drag it around. So the advantage of using Wix is this is something that GoDaddy and Squarespace can't really do, which is to drag, align, and move elements around a section. So if I go ahead and even add sections, so these are what they have in similar. So if I wanted to provide a promotional or a contact form, if I wanted to, I can do so. So I could just add that in like so, and that'll push that in. And I can also delete this if I wanted to, just by clicking the backspace button or right clicking and hitting delete. So that's the add section pretty much explained and the add elements. Now pages and menu pretty much is just as easy as it says, pages and menu. I can go ahead and add pages if I wanted to. They provide some layouts there, such as about, services, projects, contact, general, and landing page, and of course several other ones. Now they also have their site design, which I was explaining earlier on, which I can go ahead and change the background color, change the transitions, or customize the design. So changing one part of the design changes everything, as you can see. If I wanted to go for technical, I can. Or savvy, which changes all the colors there. So that's pretty much all news on what you would like to do with this. Add apps, as I mentioned before, that's where our chat box, everything pretty much bookings comes into play. And Wix actually provides a free, couple of free apps. So if I go ahead and search the Wix and show you some of the stuff that they have, we've got 40 results for Wix. So they've got 40 different templates nearly. So they've got Wix stores, free to install, as it says. But there are other providers where you could pay for it. So that's all news on what you want to do with that. Use the Wix app market to your advantage. And of course we have our My Business, and this is more occurring to the e-commerce side of things, where you would want to provide bookings, forms of payments, and a Wix chat. But with this site, we don't really want to provide any of that. This is a business, but we want to just create a brochure. So when you are done and you're happy enough with the website, you can go ahead and click publish. And that publishes this website live. So if I go ahead and view this site, I'm able to see this online. And others can go ahead and access this as long as they have the URL. Now, if I want to go ahead and pay for this, all I need to do is click the site and go to my dashboard. And with this, it'll show me an area where I can pay for a domain and of course pay for some pricing. Now this is a lot cheaper than actually going for Editor X, so I do recommend to just use the Wix editor if you can, if you don't have any complex web designs. So you would want to just click on domain, search up a name that you want. So PT Estate Agency, and that'll find me a domain name, and it says .com is available, so I can go ahead and get that, and then I can go ahead and upgrade this. So you get a 1-year free plan. So these are some of the plans that they have. So as you can see, it's £4 a month, so that's fairly cheap enough. But people mainly go for the combo, or the most popular there, which is £11 a month. So that totals around £132, or another realistic number is about $150, something around that range. Of course, you can choose the connect domain, but the only downfall to that is that it will display some ads, and you don't get to have the 1-year free domain. Of course, if you are setting up an e-commerce website, there are a couple of options there for you as well. But it is not as expensive as the pricing plans within Editor X as we seen earlier on, with the price ranges being a little bit more dear than it is for the actual editor or Wix editor, like so. So now that we've explored Wix, and if you guys are happy enough, I would recommend to use Wix as it is got everything that you would need to develop a website. Also gives you a learning curve as well if you wanted to produce websites at a beginner's level. So not just beginners, of course. If you're intermediate, you can go ahead and design websites here. Everyone's welcome to use Wix, of course. So moving on, we're going to go ahead and go to GoDaddy. So here we have GoDaddy, and this is a more basic web developer tool, and it's great as well for those who are starting off. So we're at the home page here, so I'm going to go ahead and click websites, and we can go ahead and start for free. Okay, so you'll be given this screen here, and we're going to go ahead and start a new site. So we'll go ahead and continue. So we're creating a real estate agent. So I've clicked on that, that's all highlighted, and then we'll click next. So we'll just say ProfileTree Real Estate Agency. I'll go ahead and click next. Now we'll go ahead, so it gives you a question here where it's an idea, hasn't launched yet, it just launched recently, or it's been up and running for a while now. So something like that, and then something simple that doesn't take a lot of time, something more full service that I can start now. So I'd like to start building a full website. So you get 3 questions, pretty much just a Wix ADI. So it's an artificial design intelligence. It'll build the website for you depending on what your site's all about. So this could be the real estate that you wanted to build. So here we go, ProfileTree Real Estate Agency. And you can take a tour as well if you wanted to. And we can go ahead and preview the site and just have a look to see what it looks like. So it gives us a hero section, and it looks like we've got the team here with a couple of listings that they've put up, services as well, and a newsletter with some business details about when we're open and what time we're open, as well as a provided chat box. So that's quite a lot for the time that we've spent there, which is pretty much nothing. Now it just shows 2 site navigations there, which is a home and a privacy policy, which I assume is hidden. So they're trying to build a 1-page website pretty much for you. Now we can go ahead and update the image at the background. We don't have to necessarily pick that one. We can go ahead and change the image if we wanted to. Now they do also provide different images that are here, just like Wix, which I never got to show you, but they provide their own images for you. So let's just say we wanted to go for this one instead. We can go ahead and do so, and that'll add it onto the website. You can also add videos if you wish, so we can go ahead and change that video. And if we were going to go for real estate, we can go ahead and add a video, and insert it. Of course, we can upload our own. So makes a big difference. Now the thing that Wix doesn't have, which you have to add in yourself, is a slideshow, and it's already built in for you, as you can see, and it adds 3 different slideshows. So that's one key factor of using GoDaddy. Now it's easy enough to use. You've got your settings here as well. You can publish your website, you can change the theme. These are some of the pages that we have. We can add pages if we wanted to, add links to external websites, add a drop down menu. Make sure you could show it in the navigation, you could show it in the footer if you wanted to, or make it into a private page. So that's just pretty much what you can do with this website. So there's not much else to it. Of course, there are templates that you can see as well, and we'll go ahead and look at some of the templates they provide. Okay, so these are some of the templates that they can provide. Of course, you can go ahead and work with this. So these are mainly to do with the home services. Unfortunately, I'm not able to find the real estate unless there is something around here. Maybe professional services. So what you could do is you could probably work with one of the home services one here and go ahead and pretty much design one. Oh, there's one there, real estate. My apologies. So here's one here, real estate. They've got The Hill, Laura Walker. Those are probably interior designers, which they are. Elite Living, which we have here. The Fuller Group, Green Valley. Just a couple of different website designs. So we can go ahead and preview them as well and take a look at how they look. So they've got Google reviews as well. And there's Dovetail Designs. You can check that out as well. So they've got interior planning, architecture. So these are mainly like construction websites rather than real estate websites. So now that we've looked at both the templates and creating a website from scratch on GoDaddy, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next one here, which is Squarespace. So Squarespace is fairly similar to GoDaddy itself. Fairly straightforward. You can go ahead and create a real estate website on this one. So of course they've got one there for home decor, real estate properties. So these are some of the ones that they have at the minute. So if I click real estate, looks like they've got one there. Hopefully there's 3 templates there. Selwood, they've got Barbosa, and they've got Hindano. So these are probably the closest templates and looks like the only 3 that's available for real estate and properties. Now if you did want to create your own one, unfortunately at the minute it looks like it's not showing the logo here, but you are able to create a blank logo or a blank canvas website. It will locate it here and I'll demonstrate that now. So here's our blank website. This is it here. Unfortunately, with the form saying, it looks like that Squarespace actually changed the linking of where the blank page is, or the blank canvas is. So it should say use blank template. So we've got it here. So we can go ahead and start with this design. Of course, it shows us 3 different ones there, which is desktop, tablet, and a mobile device. And it doesn't actually show you that on the GoDaddy with the tablet device, and it doesn't also show that on the Wix editor. So that's the only difference on this, but it does show it on Editor X. So you can create pages, get started pretty much, and then this is where you can get pretty savvy with the designing. So of course there's a couple of pages there that are built in. You can even add some custom CSS. Now if I wanted to edit, I can just go ahead and click edit. And if I wanted to click on my header here, I can edit that header, add my logo in. So my site title, we could just change that to ProfileTree Real Estate Agency. And I can add a logo there if I wanted to. I don't need to set a title if I don't need to. Now they do have their own logo maker as well. So this is it here, which is the logo maker. So if I typed in ProfileTree real estate agency and go ahead and search that, so it'll give me a couple of symbols that I may want to use, and I can save that logo and I can add taglines, and then I can add that to the website. And it even shows you the different designs on how it would look on some branding or the actual website itself or some business cards. So that's that one pretty much, and then I can go ahead and edit the actual style of this, so I can have it as a dark section if I wanted to. So that's just a couple of ways to do so. Now you can add elements along the way as well, add buttons here, and view properties. Now the actual button changes itself, and then you want to write down properties, so that will be the link for it. So there's the link. So that's the link for the page, and then you can have that so it opens up a new window. So you can see how easy it is to use. Now it is a confusing interface sometimes. It's just with the way it's laid out. And of course I could change my header design where I can have my navigation to the left side, have it in the middle, have my logo in the middle, and have my navigation on the left side. So that's just dependent on how you want to design your website. So moving on, you can also add some sections as well. So let's just say you wanted to add a video here, you can go ahead and do so. And I could just have it like this, one big video. And then I can edit that block, or edit that section, sorry. So I can go ahead and click edit section and click on the background. And I can use the background art that they have there as shown. And these are pretty cool as well. Or I can have the video running. Of course, when I add a video, I would only be able to upload a file or select from library. They don't actually provide their own ones. If I go ahead and show you, they've got nothing here. So even if I search up real estate, no results, as I need to add my own. And we've only got a limited amount of video storage on the top right, as you can see, with 30 minutes. So that is pretty much the 3 platforms shown there. Bluehost as well would be a bit more complicated, but I can keep going on and showing you the different platforms that you can use. But of course, these are just a taste of what you could use for real estate agency. Now, if you guys have any questions at all regarding the video, leave them down in the comment section below. Hopefully this little guide has helped you grab a foundation for where or what platform you may want to use. Of course, you can explore the different ones that I haven't mentioned. This video is purely just to get you started. So yes, again, leave some comments down below, and yes, I'll see you for the next one. Thank you very much.